Will the Clintons testify under oath about Jeffrey Epstein? And is this going to lead to prosecutions of anyone? Let's discuss this, shall we? James Comer of the House of Representatives has dropped a whole bunch of subpoenas. Former attorneys general, former politicians, big names, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton. Here, I can give you the full list. The Comer, different guy. Subpoenas that have been requested here are, it's a broad range of people. He wants Department of Justice records, former U.S. Attorney General William Barr, former U.S. Attorney General Gonzalez, former U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions, former FBI Director Robert Mueller, U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch, Attorney Holder, Garland, Comey is in there, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. Okay, few things on this. One is, I understand the frustration, and I share the frustration that we don't seem able to get full and final answers when it comes to Epstein and the whole conspiracy that was involved. I get it, and I share that frustration, and I understand why people are very disappointed with what has happened so far on that. Now I have to also be honest and tell you that these people, you're talking about former attorneys general, does anyone think that they're going to say anything that is going to implicate somebody criminally, including themselves, in any of this Epstein stuff? No, they're not. You really think that Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton are going to say something that would be damaging to them? Based on what? Why would they do that? Right? Now, I know people might say, and I've already gotten a lot of this pushback, oh, but you got to put them under oath. You never know. They'll sweat it out. Really? You think this is Bill Clinton's first rodeo? You think this is Hillary Clinton's first rodeo? Benghazi Hillary? You think she hasn't been through this before? That's assuming they even show up, which they're not going to do. This is Comer doing something to do something. You're not even going to have most, if not any, of these people show up to testify. They're going to do everything they can to defy these subpoenas. They'll say that they just invoke their Fifth Amendment right if they have to. There's no reason for them in their minds. If I'm the defense counsel, or if I'm the, not defense counsel because I'm not being prosecuted, but if I'm a lawyer advising, and these are all lawyers themselves, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, these people all went to law school. So remember this, all right? Although I think, who was it? Bill has been disbarred, so there's that. But if I'm advising any of them, and I didn't even go to law school, I say, yeah, you're just going to plead the Fifth. And that's that. You're not going to testify about this. Now, you could say, oh, but they should, and the people will know. People are going to believe what they're going to believe about these individuals, irrespective of whatever testimony they give. And honestly, I think that you're also going to run up against, in the case of some of these former officials, they may just say it's either, there's an executive privilege issue here, ongoing investigation issue here. I mean, they're going to find every way possible to say nothing and or not show up. And they're going to be successful in that. And I think everyone needs to understand what's really happening here instead of what people are promising is going to happen because they want clicks and they want attention. I am getting sick of an element of the online right over-promising knowingly and completely not delivering. Not even just under-delivering, not delivering. Nothing comes of it. Oh, this is going to happen. We're finally there. Now justice will be served. Psych. Nothing happens. Well, they knew that nothing was going to happen, but they wanted to get everybody riled up. Look, if I'm wrong on this, I will come and I will eat humble pie here on my own podcast, and I will tell you that I must have missed something, whatever, but nothing is going to come out of these Comer subpoenas of any anything that is meaningful. We already know Bill Clinton flew on Epstein's plane a bunch of times. We already know that the various attorneys general, didn't do enough or didn't do anything on the Epstein case and let this stuff happen. And this stuff is all already known. So what is going to be new? You think they're going to get some member of Congress can ask Bill Clinton, hey, Bill, did you do anything actually, sexually, criminally illegal with any of Epstein's associates or any of the girls that he victimized or anything? You think Bill Clinton's going to answer that question? And he's certainly not going to answer in a way that gets him in trouble. So This is just, it's theatrics. It's theatrics from politicians. That is the truth of it. If you want accountability and you want answers when it comes to Epstein stuff, it has to come from this Department of Justice and the Trump White House, and that is where it will happen. That's it. It's not going to come from congressional oversight. It's not going to come from subpoena. So don't get mad at me. I'm not the one who's saying nothing more is going to be released. I'm just telling you what's happening right now. Telling you the truth of this situation as I see it. And Comer, do I think that he would want to have all the answers? And is he outraged by all this? Yeah, sure. I think that Comer and I are on the same team, as I'm sure all of you are as well, when it comes to this stuff. But I just know where this is going, which is nowheresville. And so there's all this focus and all this attention on it, and I don't see it turning into anything that is going to make people feel like, yeah, this was worthwhile or this is good. I know people are going to say, oh, but we're going to force. I'm the one who's popularized, at least on the radio show and in general, I think, among a lot of conservatives, the process is the punishment. I learned this when I was at the CIA. The process is the punishment. But it's going to be hard to even punish with process these individuals because they tend to understand this system well and they tend to evade it. Now, this brings me to the next part of the conversation, though. There's a risk you take every time you go online, every time you log into your bank account or shop. Cyber hackers could be secretly recording every keystroke. Using surveillance software called a keylogger, they secretly record the keystrokes typed on a computer or mobile device, just like the one you have, and it happens before any encryption kicks in. That's why you need Endpoint Lock, the ultimate keystroke encryption tool that stops keyloggers dead in their tracks. With military-grade 256-bit encryption, Endpoint Lock protects your passwords, emails, and sensitive data right at the source, your keyboard. It works silently in the background. No pop-ups, no hassle, just powerful protection across all your devices. Windows, Android, and iOS. Trusted by top cybersecurity experts and backed by identity theft and ransomware coverage, Endpoint Lock is your first line of defense. Because it's impossible to steal what can't be seen. Visit endpointlockconsumer.com today. That's endpointlockconsumer.com. Endpoint Lock, where privacy begins. Are we just in the eye for an eye era of countering lawfare, where Trump administration officials decide these are bad people who did bad things, and we're going to go after them however we can with whatever we've got, even if it means we're stretching the statute or stretching our interpretation of how this fits into a legal framework? I think there are a lot of people that feel like the answer is yes. And I'm sympathetic to the philosophy undergirding this. I'm sympathetic to the idea that if we don't inflict some pain, some punishment on the other side for the lawfare, it just becomes a go-to tactic. And that certainly looks like what has happened over the last 10 years. I do have to remind everybody, lawfare failed. Donald Trump is president. He crushed all of their efforts to use the law against him. It made him the Republican nominee. It I think, helped propel him to a massive presidential win. And the people that were involved in it showed us who they are, and they are humiliated, at least in the eyes of anybody who's paying attention. So with all of that, we have to now assess the best way to move forward. If you want accountability on the Epstein case, it has to come from Trump and the DOJ, Trump's DOJ. They have the information, and they have the ability to release more. They've decided not to. Subpoenaing the Clintons is going to it's going to go nowhere. So for people that are getting very excited and energized about this, I'm here to tell you, no, don't. Let's find a better way. There's got to be a better way or another way or a revisiting of this with the administration. But subpoenaing every attorney general for the last 20 years, this is not going to be some huge breakthrough. Credit to President Trump and the members of our Treasury Department for finalizing so many of these tariff deals. But, our sponsor here is Birch Gold, and I think gold is so important, even when the economy is doing really well, even when things are going well overall. You have to take action for yourself. You have to be responsible for your own bank account, your own long-term financial future. No one else is going to do that for you. A lot of people that are still struggling with their bills, even in a great economy, right? The economy is an overall environment, but you as an individual have to make smart choices. And that's where I think gold comes in. Protecting the value of your hard-earned dollars with some gold as part of your portfolio just makes sense to me. Gold is an appreciating asset, up 40% in the last year. And I think Birch Gold Group is the best in the game at getting you real gold. I'm talking about physical gold, which they can deliver right to your home, gold bars, gold coins. Also, they can convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. Check out what Birch Gold Group has to say. Text my name, Buck, to 989898. Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold. Again, text my name, Buck, to 989898. Look, if you disagree with me on this, you know one of the best ways? Tweet at me, or I guess it's now post at me on X. But I'm at Buck Sexton. Explain to me how I'm wrong. Or in the comments here on the YouTube. We got a YouTube channel. Tell me in the comments why I'm wrong about this. But any of you are going to tell me I'm wrong about what's going to happen with these Comer subpoenas, if I'm right, you have to go back and comment in the future. You know what, Buck, you were right. Hold yourself accountable on that one. A lot of people on the right, a lot of conservatives, Iran, World War III is going to happen if we, it didn't happen. Oh my gosh, the Israelis are intentionally starving all of Gaza to death. That's actually not happening. That's a lie. There's a lot of people on the right who are falling for a lot of stuff these days. I'm not even talking about the UFOs and all this other stuff that people talk about. They keep telling people here the big important thing is about to happen, and it doesn't happen. And I think that credibility should be lost for people who abuse the trust of those who are counting on them to analyze and think about things honestly and intelligently. And so with this Comer stuff, I'm just here to tell you it's a waste of time. Some of you have been listening to me for almost 15 years now, and you remember Benghazi. Oh, my gosh, I got so much heat. Benghazi hearings. You had Trey Gowdy, who's like, Mr. Speaker, we got to get... And he's, pounding the table. And, now he's with Fox News. No surprise. He was auditioning with Fox News during the Benghazi hearings. I told him. I said, look, Benghazi was terrible, but Hillary, once Barack won the election, there was going to be no accountability. One re-election. I said that's all. It's all over, right? The House can do whatever they want. It's not gonna do anything. And nobody went to prison. That's what I said. Now you could say there was political accountability for Hillary at some level. People already hated her, but a lot of people did, not Democrats. But the promise that people were making at the time was that there were going to be a lot of firings and people in handcuffs over Benghazi and the cover up. And I said, no, that's just not going to happen because Barack Obama's in charge. The person who would have to want accountability for Benghazi was the opposite of somebody who wanted accountability for it, right? And for Hillary Clinton. So that wasn't a popular thing to say then. It was absolutely true. And now we're going back, a long time. I don't know, over a decade. And so I'm sitting here and I'm telling you, I could be wrong. I don't think the Comer subpoenas are going to come to anything. And I think that Republicans are in a position now where they don't want to pressure Trump anymore, and so they're doing things to do things. And that tends to not work. A lot of great things to be excited about with this administration. A lot of things happening that are really good for the country. I talk about the border and the economy and trade and all these things that Trump's doing a fantastic job on. And I don't want people to lose sight of what's really affecting them in their day-to-day because of these issues that drive a lot of passion online. But in a lot of cases, the people who are promoting these issues do so knowing that it's just about clickbait. And that's frustrating. So come here and I'll tell you the truth. It's my promise to you. Shields high. Ready for some amazing news? Because of you, Preborn has rescued over 38,000 unborn babies this year alone. These are babies that were at risk because their mothers were getting pressure or they didn't know where to turn and they were considering abortion. But because preborn clinics stepped in and showed them love and support in a better way, these babies were brought into this world. The challenge of abortion has now reached the home front because of the abortion pill taking a significant toll on the lives of babies across this country. But with Preborn, there's a way to step in and save these lives by giving that mom love, support, and an ultrasound. For just $28, you can introduce at-risk babies to their mothers through an ultrasound. That's the gift that Preborn provides to any pregnant mom who walks into one of their clinics. Please donate a gift of any amount. It will go directly towards saving babies' lives. Just dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, say baby, or go to preborn.com/buck, preborn.com/BUCK. Sponsored by Preborn.